Good evening, dear students from all over Egypt. Welcome to today's session. With you today, Miss Wafa Hassoub, and today, inshallah, we will have a novel, chapter 4. So, our beautiful novel with the title of The Old Man and the Sea. السلام عليكم أولادنا الغاليين في كل مكان. أهلا بيكم مع محاضرتنا النهاردة إن شاء الله، وهنكمل مع بعض chapter 4 بالنسبة للنوفل الجميلة اللي موجودة معانا The Old Man and the Sea. And chapter 4 with the title of A Battle of Strength and Will. المعركة ما بين القوة والإرادة. And as usual, we will have new vocab for the chapter. كالعادة كده معانا بعض الفوكاب الجديد اللي احنا بناخده دايما في الشابترز أو النوفل. So, there is no other way. There is no other way. What does it mean? So, no alternative or choice exists. There is no other way. يعني لا يوجد حل بديل. لا يوجد أي حل بديل. So, no alternative or choice exists. Example, we must continue walking. There is no other way. ما قدامناش حل تاني. لازم إن احنا نتقدم بقى في المسيرة بتاعتنا. We have the verb shift. Well, shift here as a verb, and we can have it as a noun as well. And the word shift here means to move something or change position. طيب shift معناها يا إما بمعنى إن أنا أغير المكان بتاعي، أو إن أنا أغير موقع شيء من مكان لمكان يعني، أوكي؟ كمان لو هي noun إحنا هناخدها كنون تبقى بمعنى نوبة تدريبية أو نوبة عمل. عارفين لما يبقى مثلا هو شغال شيفت من شيفت النهاري او شيفت في الليل، ف this is the word shift as a noun, but as a verb it means to move something or to change position. And we have an example for it. So she shifted her chair closer to the window. And now we have shade his eyes. Shade his eyes. The definition of this is to cover the eyes to protect them from light. Shadow بمعنى ظلال، اوكي، او بمعنى ظل. shade his eyes معنى يغطي عينيه او يحاول ان هو يحمي عينيه من الإضاءة الشديدة. عارفين ان هو يظلل على عينه من الإضاءة الشديدة. So he shaded his eyes from the bright sun. Now we have some questions for you. So, the boy tried to ignore the pain and finished the race. So, the correct answer here is going to be admire, ignore, clinch, or drag. And as we have it زي ما احنا كده شايفين بيقول لي إن الولد حاول إن هو يتجاهل الألم علشان يقدر ينهي السباق. We walked along the coast to watch the sunrise. So, Gulf, palm, coast, or hem. And the correct answer is going to be coast. So, they walked along the coast. يعني مشوا كده على الساحل بتاع البحر اللي موجود عشان يقدروا ان هم يتفرجوا على شروق الشمس. She clenched her hands when she got scared. So, shift, clench, clench, clenched. طبعا السنتنس عندنا اساسا في past simple. That's why we brought it in the past simple, not with the ing or not in the infinitive. So it's clenched. Still with the new vocab, we have the verb endure. To endure something, it means to suffer something difficult patiently. To try to نتحمل. عارفين إن الإنسان يتحمل الألم، يتحمل المعاناة بصبر وبقوة. So they had to endure the freezing weather. And now we have surge. Surge. It's a verb and it means to rise or move forward suddenly and powerfully. Okay? تعالوا نشوف كده الإكزامبل. A wave of excitement surged through the crowd. And now we have ignore the pain. Ignore the pain. So they are verbal collocation, and it means to choose not to pay attention to the pain. So try to ignore your pain, okay? Just to focus on your aims, your goals, whatever you are want or whatever you want to focus on. So we call it ignore the pain or ignore your pain. So he kept running, trying to ignore the pain in his legs. Still with the vocab, we have given, give in. So we know that we have a verb plus preposition to give up. Give up means to surrender, okay? But here, given means to stop resisting, okay? To try to surrender to something. So she refused to give in to the pressure. So we have give in and we have give up. Give in and give up, to stop resisting and try to surrender to someone, to something. And now we have loneliness. Loneliness. It's a noun and it means sadness from being alone. So it's related to emotions here, to feel lonely without people around you. So he felt deep loneliness after moving away. After that, we have companionship. Companionship. It's a noun and it means the good feelings of having someone with you. So it's companionship. Companionship, الرفقة. And to have someone beside you, to be with you in a place or on something, so you won't feel loneliness. Look to the example we have. The dog gave her comfort and companionship. Now we have sprungly. Sprungly. Okay, so sprungly means it's an adverb and it means in small or limited amounts. Okay, in small or limited amounts. So as an example for it, use salt sparingly in this recipe. It means with a little amount. Okay, don't use a lot of it, put just a little amount of it. Now we have the word exhaustion. Exhaustion is a noun and it comes from the verb exhaust, to feel extremely tired. So the definition of it is extreme tiredness. Extreme tiredness. Look here. He collapsed from exhaustion. So he collapsed, he fainted out of extreme tiredness. And now we have the word gulf. Gulf. It's a noun and it means a wide difference or separation. So if we have a wide difference between two things, we call it a gulf. Okay, so there is a huge gulf between their opinions. فجوة ضخمة للغاية. Now we have some questions for you, so do it with us. Okay, so her spirit stayed stronger after the hard exam. So spirit, creature, youth, explanation, explosion. And as we can see here, it's spirit, her soul stays strong after the hard exam. Water cascaded down from the high fountain. So surged, cascaded, shoot, or stretched. And it's cascaded. Water cascaded down from the high fountain. It means fall down. Well, he felt great pride when he passed with high marks. So is it effort, pride, O, or row? So he felt great pride when he passed with high marks. Still with the new vocab, we have spirit. Spirit. It's a noun and it means the emotional or non-physical part of a person and equal the word soul. Soul. So her spirit stays strong through the hardship. And now we have the word exhausted. Exhausted. It's an adjective and it means extremely tired. You feel very tired from something. After the long trip, she was completely exhausted. Well, what about the word stiff? Stiff. Well, stiff means difficult to move or not flexible. Not flexible. So, my neck feels stiff this morning. متصلب. So, my neck feels stiff this morning. Not flexible. And now we have the verb drag. Drag. So, to drag something or drag someone means to pull something along the ground. To pull it along the ground. An example for it, he dragged the heavy box across the room. And now we have the word coast. Coast. It's a noun and it means the land next to the sea. So they walked along the coast at sunset. After that, we have the word bride. Bride. And I think you remember Unit 1, it's take bride in. Take bride in means to feel proud about someone or something. So the word bride is a noun and it means a feeling of satisfaction and respect for yourself. As an example for it, he felt pride in his achievements. Still with the vocab, we have the verb rest. Rest. So it means to relax or stop working. Look to the example we have. You should rest after the long day. And now we have the word rough. Rough. So rough as an adjective, it means not smooth or gentle. So it's something hard, something tough. So the ground was rough and hard to walk on. After that, we have a noun means hem. So the word hem means the folded and sewn edge of fabric. So she fixed the hem of her dress. Now we have some questions for you. So after the long day, the workers were in complete companionship, exhaustion, loneliness, admiration. Of course, after a long day, they are in a complete exhaustion. A strong wave suddenly across the beach surged, dragged, shaded, chewed. So, a strong wave suddenly surged across the beach. The child held the small bird carefully in his coast, palms, hem, gulf. Well, he held it carefully in his palms. Well, now we have the word palms. Palms. So it's a noun and it means the inner surface of the hand. Look to the example we have. Swede gathered in his palms. And we have the verb chew. Chew. So to chew something, it means to try to bite food repeatedly with teeth. So trying to eat it with your mouth. So chew your food well before swallowing. Still with the vocab, you have the verb clench. Clench. So to clench means to close hands or teeth tightly. So he clenched his fist in anger. Still with the vocab, we have the verb admire. So to admire something or to admire a person means to respect and like someone or something. As an example for it, she admires her teacher very much. Now we have the noun creature. Creature. So any living being, especially an animal. Look to the example. Strange creatures live in the deep sea. Well, what about the word wise? Wise. It's an adjective and it means showing good judgment and experience to something or to someone. So his wise words helped me decide. Now we have the noun effort. Effort. So effort means to physical or mental energy used to do something. As an example for it, learning a new language takes effort. Now we have raw. Raw as an adjective, it means not cooked. Not cooked. As an example, she eats raw vegetables every day. After that, we have noble. Noble as an adjective. So, noble means having good moral qualities. Look here, helping others is a noble act. And now we have explosion. Explosion from the verb exploit, okay? So a sudden violent burst. So to explosion, the word explosion, it's a noun and it means a sudden violent burst, okay? They heard a loud explosion from the factory. In awe, or feeling great respect mixed with wonder. So she stood in awe of the huge waterfall. Still with the vocab, we have the noun youth. Youth. So they are, of course, if we mean the people, so they are the young teenager or the period of being young. So he spent his youth playing football. And now we have the verb cascade. Cascade. So it's a verb and it means fall or flow like a waterfall. So her hair cascaded over her shoulders. Now we have some questions. Okay, so the fisherman walked along the coast early in the morning. So it's not Gulf and not him or a creature. So they walked along the place between the sea or next to the sea. So it's we call it coast. He felt after staying in the house alone for a week. So it's due to emotion, related to emotion. So he felt loneliness. Loneliness. The strong wind surged across the desert and left the sand. So it's not admired or rested or chewed. The suitable one here is the strong wind surged across the desert. And now, dear students, as usual, in your chapters, we need to know some values. So, the novel, we didn't choose it haphazardly. هباء يعني احنا ما اخترناش النوفل ليكم بشكل كده هبائي وخلاص. No, this novel is full of values. And we want you to learn things, okay, to make you live in a respectful way, to live with other people in a good way, and to try to develop from yourself, to improve yourself. That's why we are focusing, okay, here on the values in each chapter. So the values in this chapter, chapter 4, are pride and endurance. ان انت يكون عندك كبرياء كده في التحمل بتاعك، انت تتحمل وانت صامد مش وانت ضعيف. So Santiago refused to surrender despite pain. After that, we have respect for nature. You must have respect for the nature around you. So he admired the fish's power. بالرغم ان السمكه بتقاوح، وهنشوف كده في الشابتر عندنا يعني السمكه كانت رهيبه حقيقي، يعني ند جبار بالنسبه له. But he didn't underestimate it. He didn't humiliate it. ما اهنهاش ولا ما قللش منها. No, he respected her, or respected the fish itself, and he called it brother. So try to respect, to have respect for nature around you. And now we have human courage. Human courage. So strength of spirit matters more than the body. أكيد طبعا قوة الروح يعني فعلا بتبقى قوة جبارة جدا جدا أكتر من جسمك. يعني أنت ممكن تكون ضعيف جسديا، ولكن مع قوة الروح والإرادة بتاعتك تقدر تحقق حاجات كتير أنت ما يعني ناس تانية صحتها أكبر ما تقدرش تحققها. So it's due to your spirit, your will, your insistence. Okay, loneliness and faith. Loneliness and faith. So Santiago is alone, yet strengthened by memory and hope. احنا يمكن تذكرنا برغم ان هو كان وحيد، لكن تذكر جو دوماجيو، فاكرينه اللي هو كان بيتحمل الألم أثناء ما هو بيلعب البيسبول. فهي remembered جو دوماجيو and he reminded himself of this person. Well, he continued playing due to in spite his pain. So I'll do like him. I'll suffer and I'll try to endure pain just to achieve my goals in the end. And now, after we learn the values, endurance, pride, respect for nature and for all creatures of God, now we have some idioms and expressions in chapter 4. So, look here. You're my brother fish. You're my brother fish. So it's an idiom, and the definition of it, it's an expression showing a deep bond between a person and nature. It means the speaker feels connected to the fish as if they share the same struggle and respect each other. So you're my brother fish. طبعا هو هنا يعني من كتر احترامه للسمكة اللي موجودة، فيعني نعتها كأنها، اعتبرها كأنها a person، وكمان يعني مش أي person، لا ده يعني قال عليها brother. ده دليل على إن هي الند ليه فعلا بيحترمها جدا. So as an example for it, when the fisherman finally saw the huge fish, he whispered, "You're my brother fish," feeling a strong connection with it. Pain doesn't matter. Pain doesn't matter. الألم لا يهم. So it's a way of saying that endurance, determination, and achieving goal are more important than the pain someone feels. So to put a goal in front of your eyes, it will let you or make you force you to endure pain. علشان كده احنا بنقول لكم دايما لما تذاكروا حط هدفك قدامك، انا لازم اعدي السنه دي واعديها بمجموع كبير. Once you put this goal in front of you, you will try to endure and study hard to achieve this goal, inshallah. As an example, he kept climbing the mountain even though his legs hurt, saying, pain doesn't matter. Still with the idioms and expressions, we have the sea tests me. And this means nature challenges the person, pushing them to prove their strength, patience, and skill. So البحر يختبرني. هنا معناها ان ايه، ان كأن الطبيعة بتختبر مدى تحمله وقوته. هل انت اهل ان انت تكون تنال سمكة كبيرة وقوية جدا زي السمكة دي؟ هل انت بمقدار هذه العظمة؟ So this is the sea tests me. It tests his strength, patience, and skill. As an example, so as the waves grew stronger, the old sailor smiled and said, well, the sea tests me today. Well, killing me fish, killing me fish. Well, it's a figurative way to admit the fish's strength or power. It means the fish is extremely difficult to catch and is exhausting the fisherman. Killing me fish يعني انت بتقتليني، انت بتحطميني خالص. So that means that the fish is very strong and determined to escape. You're not gonna catch me. السمكة مصممة ان انت مش هتصطادني. I'll rescue myself. As an example from the novel, after hours of struggling with the giant fish, he laughed and said, you're killing me, fish, admiring its power. Now we have some questions about the idioms and expressions. So, when the fisherman says, you're my brother fish, he is showing fear of the fish, anger at nature, a bond with nature, or desire to leave the sea. You're my brother fish. Well, of course, it's a bond with nature. He respects the nature around him. The expression pain doesn't matter means the person focuses on comfort, endurance, resting, weakness. Pain doesn't matter. It shows, of course, it's endurance. Try to endure, to bear the pain. The sea tests me, suggests that the sea is relaxing him, challenging him, ignoring him, or helping him. And it's gonna be challenging. The sea is challenging him, trying to see how much is his patience, how much is he skillful, and so on. Well, now, dear students, we will have chapter 4 in points. So, the morning sun rose over the sea as Santiago, exhausted and sleepless, sat stiff with cut hands and an aching back, but with eyes still clear and spirit unbroken. يعني ليه يوم كامل وعدى عليه الصبح كمان خلاص، اوكي، بعد اليوم ده ما عدى، وبالرغم من ان هو مجروح في ايده، يعني ألم شديد جدا جدا وظهره بيقتله من الألم، رغم من كده لا، يعني عقله صافي وروحه ما اتكسرتش وعينيه ولا كأن فيها أي تعب. The great fish continued to drag the boat further into the gulf, leaving Santiago alone, yet filled with pride at the unseen struggle. برغم ان هو وحيد وشايف السمكة يعني شغالة بتسحب في المركب بتاعه بعيد بعيد خالص خالص علشان تقدر ان هي تهرب وهو وحده، ولكن حقيقي يعني مش همه اطلاقا. Santiago whispered to the fish, calling it his brother, yet admitting he must kill it because there was no other way. هو عارف خلاص انه لازم حد فيهم ينتصر، وهو مش مستعد ان هو يخسر. هو قضى حياته كلها عشان خاطر الفرصة دي. فهو يعني قال لها انت صحيح، يعني انا بحترم قوتك وكده، لكن في النهاية انا اللي هفوز مش انت. Still with the points of chapter 4. To rest his hands, he shifted the line to his shoulders, ate a piece of tuna slowly, and prepared for a long battle that could last days. ابتدى بقى يعني يجهز نفسه ويجهز جسمه كده علشان ان هو عارف ان ممكن يفضل في الصراع والقتال ده ايام اللي جايه. فاكل بقى حبه تونه صغيرين وريح الحبل بتاع السناره او الخيط بتاع السناره على كتفه عشان يقدر ان هو يعني جسمه يرتاح شويه من الالم ويقدر ان هو ياكل. Well, by noon the fish pulled harder, cutting Santiago's skin deeply. But he braced himself, clenched his teeth, and held firm despite the sweat pouring down his face. يعني هو لما لقى ان السمكة كل ما لما بتسحبه وبتسحب البوت بتاعه بشكل اعمق وبشكل اقوى، ويعني جرحته جرح عميق جدا جدا وجسمه كله اتكسر، وعلى الرغم من كده لا يعني ضم رجليه قوي وقعد يجز كده على اسنانه جامد عشان يتحمل الألم ويتحمل القوة الشديدة دي. وبالرغم من العرق بقى شغال بيصب من جسمه، لكن برضه ما اتكسرش، قاعد صامت متحمل. شايفين مدى القوة والجبروت اللي فيه برغم انه كبير في السن وشخص عجوز. Santiago admired the creature's wisdom, believing it was too clever to show itself too soon, though he knew it was nearly ready to come up. يعني هو من شدة يعني ما هو شايف القوة العظيمة بتاعتها، يعني معجب بيها. يعني ده مش بيحصل كتير. احنا لما بنشوف خصم قوي زي كده يعني بنقول حاجات مش لطيفة وبنقعد نادي عليه يا رب يعني كذا، لكن سانتياغو لا، لا بالعكس احترمها جدا جدا. After that, in the hot sun, Santiago's muscles cramped and ached, but he thought of Joe DiMaggio's courage, playing with pain, and repeated to himself that endurance was what mattered. زي ما قلنا لحضراتكم قبل كده ان هو عشان يعني يثبت نفسه اكتر ويقوي من عزيمته، واحنا ده عايزينكم تعملوه دايما. فكر نفسه بمثال اللي هو جودو ماجيو، ان هو كان بيلعب البيسبول برغم ان الالم الشديد اللي كان موجود في رجله، لكن كان بيجري ويلعب لغايه لما ان هو كان بيفوز. فانتوا فكروا نفسكم كده ان احنا بالرغم من الالم لا لازم نتحمل ولازم نضغط على نفسنا الفتره دي علشان ان شاء الله نعدي السنه بتاعتنا على خير ونبقى كلنا في تانية ثانوي يا رب ان شاء الله. At night the fish surged powerfully, almost pulling Santiago down, but though his hands bled freely he refused to give in. Under the stars Santiago felt both lonely and accompanied tied to the great fish by the lion and strengthened by memories of lions on the beaches of Africa. طبعا هو قاعد بقى يحاول ان هو يعني برغم ان ايده كانت يعني بتنزف جدا، لكن هو رفض ان هو يعني يستسلم. وبرغم ان هو كان وحيد وفي نفس الوقت فيه رفقة، يعني كان فيه رفقة معاه. اوكي يعني as we can see here Santiago felt both lonely and accompanied. كان في رفقة اللي هي the fish of course. هو يعني رابط بقى السمكة او هو مصطاد السمكة، لكن لسه هي السمكة بتشد من ناحية وهو بيشد من ناحية. فكل ده بيحاول ان هو قدر المستطاع يحاول ان هو يهدي الوقت بالنسبة له ويعدي الوقت بالنسبة له ان هو هيبقى في الستراجل ده for a long time. The next morning, the Merlin leaped high, longer than the boat and shining silver in the sunlight, leaving Santiago amazed at its strength. اليوم التاني، شوف لهم يومين اهو، في صباح اليوم التاني سمكة الميرلين بقى راحت نطت مرة واحدة كده فوق قوي قوي، لدرجة ان هي لمعت ببريق عالي جدا جدا من الشمس، من يعني تألق الشمس على جلدها. حتى سانتياغو نفسه يعني حس ايه ده، حس بالدهش فعلا من جمال السمكة وعظمتها والرهبة اللي موجودة فيها وقوتها الكبيرة. Santiago witnessed that the Merlin was noble, strong, and full of spirit, but still declared his determination to fight with it until the end. طبعا هو بنفسه شهد ليها ان هي فعلا يعني حاجة قوية جدا وعظيمة وجبارة، وروحها يعني لا عندها تحدي، بس برضه هصطادك يعني هصطادك. So for 2 days and nights, Santiago fought without sleep, eating raw fish and drinking little, his body broken but his will strong. On the third day, near exhaustion, Santiago felt his raw hands and burning eyes, yet still held firm as the tired Merlin swam slower, whispering that it was now a battle of life or death. طبعا بعد 3 أيام كاملين هو كان مرهق، بس برضه ما زال مصمم وماسك الخيط بتاع السنارة كويس خالص. الميرلين بالرغم من ان هي دلوقتي بتسبح ببطء شوية، ولكن يعني الحرب ما بينهم لا حرب حياة أو موت. هما الطرفين بيفكروا كده حياة أو موت بيننا وبين بعض. The next morning, the Merlin leapt high, longer than the boat, and shining silver in the sunlight, leaving Santiago amazed at the strength, amazed at its strength. Now, dear students, after finishing the points of chapter 4, we are going to watch a video and hear the sound of chapter 4 completely. هنسمع دلوقتي كده chapter 4 بالكامل، وهنشوف بعض من المقتطفات أو بعض من الصور الموجودة عندنا بالنسبة للchapter. So, listen carefully, please.
Novel: The Old Man and the Sea. Chapter 4. A Battle of Strength and Will. Created by Mrs. Wafa Hassoub. The morning sun rose golden over the sea, and the sky turned from black to pale blue. Santiago had not slept. His body was stiff, his hands were cut from the line, and his back ached from leaning against the pool of the great fish. Yet his eyes were clear, and his spirit unbroken. The fish still swam powerfully, dragging the boat farther out into the gulf. Santiago knew they were alone now, far from other fishermen, far from the coast. But he did not feel fear. Instead, he felt pride. "No one will see this fight," he said aloud, "but I will know it, and so will the fish." He looked at the line, stretched tight into the water. "You are my brother, fish," he whispered, "but I must kill you. There is no other way." To rest his hands, Santiago shifted the line across his shoulders, letting the rough hemp bite into his back instead of his palms. He breathed deeply and ate another piece of tuna, chewing slowly. He knew he must save his strength. The battle was not about hours, but days. By noon, the fish suddenly pulled harder, and Santiago braced himself. The line cut deeper into his skin, but he did not let go. His teeth clenched, sweat poured down his face. For a moment, he thought the fish might leap, but it did not. Instead, It dove deeper, dragging the skiff slowly along. 23 chapter, for the old man admired the creature's power. He has not shown himself yet, he thought. He is too wise. But soon he must come up. 24 A battle of strength, and will the hours past. The sun burned hot, and Santiago shaded his eyes. His muscles cramped, but he stretched them against the pain. He thought again of Joe DiMaggio, who played baseball with a bone spur in his heel. If he could play with pain, I can fight with pain, Santiago repeated. I am only an old man, but I can endure. That night, the fish made a great move. It surged suddenly, pulling the boat faster than ever. Santiago almost fell, but he held on, his body trembling with the effort. His hands bled freely, but he ignored the pain. You are killing me, fish, he said aloud, but you have the right. Never have I seen such a strong one. But I will not give in. When the stars came out again, Santiago felt both loneliness and companionship. He was alone on the sea, but the fish was with him, bound by the line between them. He looked up at the stars and remembered the lions of his youth, playing on the beaches of Africa. That dream gave him strength. The next morning, the fish finally rose. Santiago saw the line move up, felt the great force lifting. Then, in a sudden explosion, the marlin leapt high into the air. It was enormous, longer than the boat itself, silver in the sunlight, shining like a living sword. Water cascaded from its body as it crashed back into the sea. Santiago's heart jumped. Never have I seen such a fish, he whispered in awe. Noble, strong, and full of spirit. The marlin dived again, and the struggle continued. But now Santiago knew the size of his enemy. He spoke softly, You are the greatest fish I have ever fought. I will kill you, though it will take all my strength. For 2 days and 2 nights, the battle continued. Santiago did not sleep. He ate little, only raw fish, and drank sparingly from his water bottle. His body was broken, but his will was like iron. At times he pitied the fish. You are killing yourself for me, he said. 25 chapter 426 A battle of strength, and will I love you, but I must take you. A man was born to work, to fight, to suffer, and to win. When the third dawn came, Santiago was near exhaustion. His eyes burned, his hands were raw, his back felt as if it would break. Yet the line still held tight. The marlin swam slower now, tired but still strong. Santiago whispered to the sea, to the fish, to himself, It is you or me. May God help us both.
Well, that was the end for our video. Now we have some questions for chapter 4. So be with me, please, and try to guess the answers before we show it to you. So, what did Santiago feel when he realized he was far from land and other fishermen? Fear, pride, loneliness, anger. Well, he felt pride. How did Santiago rest his hands during the fish? He let go of the line. He tied it to the mast. He shifted the line across his shoulders. He asked for help. Do you remember? Well, he shifted the line across his shoulders. What food did Santiago eat to keep his strength? Bread, rice and beans, raw tuna, shark meat. And the correct answer is gonna be raw tuna. Who gave Santiago inspiration to fight through pain? Manolin, the Lions of Africa, Judo other fishermen, and it's Joe DiMaggio, of course. What happened when the fish suddenly surged at night? Santiago fell into the water. The boat nearly cascaded. Santiago almost capsized. Santiago almost fell but held on, or the fish broke the line. And the correct answer is Santiago almost fell, but he held onto the line. He didn't let go. What dream gave Santiago strength during his loneliness? His family, his village, the lives of his youth, peaceful. And do you remember his dream of Africa? The lives of his youth. They remind them of the strong, powerful energy that they have. So he must have this strength at them. What did Santiago see when the Merlin first leaped into the air? A small silverfish, a shark, a Merlin longer than the boat, a whale. He saw a Merlin longer than the boat. How did Santiago describe the Merlin after seeing it? Ugly and dangerous, noble, strong, and full of spirit, weak and tired, ordinary and common. Do you remember? Well, he described it as noble, strong, and full of spirit, of course. How long did the battle last? 1 night? 2 days and 2 nights? 3 hours or 1 week? And the battle stayed or lost for 2 days and 2 nights. Still with the questions, and what did Santiago whisper at the end of the chapter? The boy will save me. It's you or me. May God help us both. I'll let you go. The sea will decide. So, do you remember his words? Well, he said, it's you or me, fish. May God help us both. Well, after that, part B, the vocabulary MCQs. We are answering your book's questions. So it's your student book. The word stiff means flexible, hard and difficult to move, weak or quick. So stiff, it's hard and difficult to move. The phrase bite into his back means the lion tore painfully into his skin. A fish attacked him. He slipped on hardwood, or his shirt was too tight. And it's the lion tore painfully into his skin. Still with the questions. Now moving to part C, fill in the gaps. Santiago's hands were from the lion and his back ached. Do you remember the missing word? It's cut. Santiago's hands were cut from the line. He whispered to the fish, "You're my, but I must kill you. You're my, do you remember? You're my brother, but I must kill you." To rest, he shifted the line across his, perfect, across his shoulders. Santiago called the marlin the greatest fish he had ever fought. Not seen, no, fought. For 2 days and nights, he ate little and drank sparingly from his water bottle, of course. At last, Santiago whispered, "It's you or me. May help us both. May God help us both." So it's part D now, open-ended questions. أسئلة ذات نهايات مفتوحة، يعني ممكن عارفين اللي هي مش نهاية حتمية متروكة للخيال. So, why does Santiago feel pride instead of fear when far from land? Well, he feels pride because the fight is a personal test of his skill and strength that doesn't require an audience for validation. What does shifting the line across his shoulders show about Santiago's endurance? It shows his practical wisdom and resilience, demonstrating his ability to adapt and redistribute pain to continue the fight. Still with the questions. How does Santiago balance his need for food and strength during the battle? He conserves his resources by eating small pieces of raw tuna and drinking sparingly from his water bottle to maintain strength for long duration. Why does Santiago compare himself to Joe DiMaggio? Well, he uses DiMaggio as a sample of someone who performed excellently despite physical pain, using this image to motivate himself to endure his own suffering. How did the Merlin's leap affect Santiago's emotionally? Well, it filled him with awe and profound respect, transforming his view of the fish from an unseen force into a noble and worthy opponent. Why does Santiago admire the Merlin, even while trying to kill it? He admires its strength, beauty, and noble spirit, believing that such a worthy opponent deserves respect and makes his own struggle meaningful. What role do Santiago's memories of the lions play in his struggle? Well, they serve as a source of mental and spiritual strength, connecting him to a primal, peaceful, and powerful memory from his youth. How does Santiago express both love and duty toward the fish? Well, he expresses love through his admiration and pity, and duty through his unwavering resolve to kill it, seeing it as his purpose as a fisherman. Still with the questions. Why does Hemingway describe Santiago's well as like iron? Well, to emphasize that his determination is unbreakable and steadfast, in stark contrast to his in stark contrast to his aging, physically broken body. What does Santiago mean by it's you or me? Well, he means the struggle has reached its ultimate existential conclusion where only one of them can survive, not both. For E, to the critical thinking questions. So we want you to express your opinion about it. عايزين رأيكم بقى في أسئلة critical thinking. How does the sea serve as both a setting of danger and a stage of glory in this chapter? Well, the sea is dangerous as it isolates him and hosts a powerful adversary, but it's also a private stage where his personal battle for honor and mastery takes place. Why does Hemingway show Santiago speaking to the fish as if it were human? Well, to elevate their struggle from a simple hunt to a respectful, almost spiritual duel between two worthy beings, highlighting Santiago's deep connection to nature. In what way does the fish symbolize both an opponent and a partner? The fish is an opponent he must conquer, but also a partner born to him in a short, exhausting struggle that defines them both. How does Santiago's endurance highlight the theme of human resilience? Well, his ability to withstand extreme physical pain, exhaustion, and isolation for days showcase the incredible power of the human spirit to preserve, of course. What did the Merlin's leaves implies in the story? It implies the revelation of true greatness, the magnificent spirit of the natural world, and the ultimate worthiness of Santiago's opponent. Why is admiration for the fish important in understanding Santiago's character? Well, it revealed that his character is defined not by brute conquest, but by respect, honor, and a deep understanding of the value of the life he takes. How does the description of stars, dreams, connect Santiago to nature? Well, they show that he draws strength and solace from the timeless beauty of the natural world, seeing himself as part of a larger, meaningful universe. What message does Hemingway send about suffering and greatness through this battle? Well, the message is that true greatness is not achieved without immense suffering, and that enduring this suffering with dignity is a victory in itself. How does Santiago's loneliness deepen the meaning of the fight? His isolation makes the struggle a purely internal and personal test, where his endurance is for his own pride and code of honor, not for any external reward or recognition. Do you agree with Santiago that a man was born to work, to fight, or to fight, to suffer, and to win? Why or why not? Well, this is an opinion, okay? So it depends on you. So the text supports this view, presenting struggle and suffering as entrance to a meaningful life and the path to prove one's worth. Well, that was the end for the questions and the chapter in whole, chapter 4 of your beautiful novel, The Old Man, the Sea. From me, all best wishes. Thank you and goodbye.